Hi, I'm George Maestri, and today I'm going to show you an alternative way to create a hip roof in SketchUp. So here we have the base of a simple building, and as you can imagine, there will be a hip roof on this. So in order to do this, we're going to draw an outline and then use Follow Me to run that outline around the outside of the building. Now, in order to get this to work properly, we need to start on the longest wall that has what would normally be a gable end of the roof. So that would be here. So I'm going to draw a guideline. So I'm going to go ahead and take my tape measure tool and I'm going to left click and drag until it snaps to the midpoint, which should be 12 feet into that wall. This is a 24-foot wall. And once I do that, I have the center line, and that should be the ridge line of the roof. And so we're going to draw an outline to that. Now, a roof will also have an overhang and a fascia, so I want to draw that as well. And I'm going to use my rectangle tool here, and I'm going to snap to the outer corner, and I'm going to drag this up in red here, and then we can just type in the dimensions. So I'm going to make it a 2-foot overhang, comma, and then let's just call it a 9-inch fascia. And when I do that, I should get a rectangle that looks something like this. So this is basically be the overhang and the fascia, and now we have to draw the angle of the roof. So for that, I'm going to use my protractor tool. So I'm going to go ahead and select protractor, and I'm going to snap to the outside edge of that along red, and then I'm going to drag it out along the green axis, left click and drag again to get the angle. Now for roofs, we typically measure in pitch. So in this case, I'm going to have a 6/12 pitch. So all we have to do is type 6:12, and that will give me the pitch of the roof. So this is a 6/12 roof. Now that I have this, you can kind of basically see the roof outlined in the guidelines here. So all we have to do is take our line tool, draw up to that intersection, and then back down. So now I've got pretty much the outline that I need. But I also need to pull this away from the roof a little bit. So I'm going to erase these lines here, and then I'm going to select this face and just do a quick pull. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that out a little bit, and then just delete these edges here. So what I'm really doing here is I'm pulling that away, and I'm just doing that in order to get this on the outside of this object here. So now I have my roof outline. It's centered to my building, and now I can create my hip roof. So I'm going to use push-pull, and we've used this before, but let's go ahead and select this face and double-click it. And what that does is it selects this outline, and that's going to be the path for Follow Me. So I'm going to go ahead and go into Tools, Follow Me, and then it brings up this icon, and all I have to do is select on the outline, and there we go. Now this looks sort of like a hip roof. This side of the building looks really nice, but over here where it gets kind of small, we don't actually get exactly what we want. And also, if you look underneath, we've got kind of a little bit of a hollow face here. So what we need to do is just kind of touch this up a little bit. And so let's go through that. So the first thing I want to do is let's go ahead and fill in this underside here. So I'm going to select my line tool and just click and draw diagonally here. And then once again, draw diagonally here. And that should fill in that middle. And in fact, if we want to, we can use our eraser tool to erase once that face is there. So now we have that face. Now this is a little bit more complicated, and it may seem a little bit daunting, but let's take a look at this in wireframe mode. So I'm going to go to Face Style, Wireframe, and as you can see, what happened is that it ran this outline along this side and then back, and so basically the peak of the roof just kept continuing, which is basically what we told Follow Me to do. So what we have to do here is basically draw in what's missing and then delete what we don't want. So I'm going to go back into a shaded mode here. And so as you can see here along this ridge line, or where this ridge line is supposed to be, we don't have a line. So I'm going to go ahead and just draw a line here. And then I'm also going to draw a line from this ridge line to this ridge line, and that should fill in those details. Now, once I have that, I can start to erase what I don't want. So I'm going to go ahead and erase this, and this, and this. And as you can see, we have a roof. But if we take a look at it in wireframe, you'll see that we have a couple of extra little lines there that are still unaccounted for. So again, our handy dandy eraser tool can get rid of them. And so now I've got a nice clean roof. So let's go back into shaded mode. And as you can see, we have a very nice 612 pitch hip roof without too much fuss. So hopefully this technique will help you to do your roofs a little bit more quickly in SketchUp.